What's going on, everybody? This is Tanner from TanmanBaseballFan.com. I've got something really exciting to show you. This is really exciting for me, at least. I have picked up I guess you would call it a Holy Grail type item for my collection. Before I show you what it is, let me tell you a little bit about it, though. A little bit of a backstory here. When I grew up, the single most important thing in all of baseball history for me was the 1989 World Series. So for those of you that might not remember it, let me give you a little bit of a recap. So what happened was the Oakland Athletics they were first place in the AL. The NL was the San Francisco Giants. So to go through a little bit of a rundown of the Giants, you had Will Clark, you had Kevin Mitchell, you had Matt Williams. They had a great club for sure, but the A's were just better, like a lot better. They were the heavily cast as the favorites in the series, and with good reason. They had Canseco, McGuire, Ricky Henderson, and they had fantastic pitching from Dave Stewart, Bob Welch, Dennis Eckersley, Mike Moore, so all those guys. So it was really fun to watch as an A's fan, and I'm originally from California, not anywhere near Oakland or San Francisco, but if you're a kid in California, you loved either the A's or Giants in 1989. So of course you love the Dodgers. You got people that love the Dodgers or the Angels or the Padres. So California is a very baseball rich state for sure. But 1989 is all about the A's and it's all about the Giants. And as you may remember, it is considered it is called the Battle of the Bay, but it's mainly known for not the baseball, but actually the earthquake that happened in Game 3 of the World Series. And so we were a few hours away from it, but in our house shook. We felt it when it happened. I remember it was the first game of when they were playing Candlestick Park. So it was Game 3, and so the Giants were bringing in all of the big time guys from their past, like Willie Mays, for instance. And I remember Willie Mays on camera, like waving to the crowd, and then all of a sudden everything just, and that's it. And then it went to cut to like a blank screen or something, and then we felt it. And, we were going a little bit. It wasn't nearly as bad as what happened in San Francisco for sure, but it was definitely felt by us. So it was very concerning because of all the things that happened. Like part of the Bay Bridge, I think, actually collapsed. But anyway, so I believe about 17 days later, the World Series resumed, and the A's continued on with sweeping the Giants. So I don't know if you're like me when it comes to the hobby, the reason why you're actually back in the hobby is because what you experienced as a child in the hobby. So for me, it was all about 1988 Donruss, 1989 Score, 1990 Tops, all of that. I loved that time period. So, but of course, what happens when we're teenagers? We go on to other things like school and friends and girls and everything. It's just that's just how it seems to go for a lot of us. And what happens when you get to be an adult? If you're like me, you get married, you have kids, and then you start going, what about baseball cards again? And so you look into it, and you look at the 88 Donruss, the 89 Score, the 90 Tops, the 89 Upper Deck, the 89 Fleer, all that stuff. And then to your delight, it's like really cheap compared to what it was back then, right? So you start picking them up and everything. You're real excited about it. And then you start taking notice at some of the other cards that are like real shiny and they have like the big patches. And you go, ooh, man, this stuff is awesome. It's more expensive, but I'm going to go ahead and get in it. So you start buying a few packs, and then all of a sudden you are hooked. You're not just about the junk wax. You're about the big flashy patches or the rare 90s inserts, right? So it happens with all of us, it seems like. So that happened to me obviously as well. And a lot of what we're trying to do as well as collectors is we're trying to grab onto something from our childhood. And so I think a lot of the card companies have latched onto that, and they've been making for years now. There's nothing new at this point, but they've been making cards from our childhood. So the heroes back then, the Kevin Mitchells, the Will Clarks, the Bo Jacksons, all those guys, they still have cards that are regularly put out. And, with good reason, because we eat that stuff up, right? If you're a Giants fan in the 80s, you're going to love seeing a patch card of Matt Williams or something, or Will Clark. I mean, that's just how it goes. they didn't really do a whole lot as far as the '89 World Series. So as a custom card creator, I wanted to create something that was like really cool, that kind of encompass the entire team, or the ones that meant the most to me. I showed this a while ago, so this was actually created maybe 4 years ago, actually. So I want to show you what this is. This is a jumbo 12X cut signature booklet. And so from left to right, you see starting here, you have Ricky Henderson, then Dennis Eckersley, then Dave Parker, then Mike Moore, Terry Steinbach, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Walt Weiss, Carney Lansford, Dave Henderson, Dave Stewart, and Mike Gallego. The back here as well, the outside of it, there they are too. It turned out really nicely. Like, I love it. And so I used a bunch of, I took probably about a year or so trying to figure out how to get these signatures. They're from signatures all over the place, but basically for the most part, they're actually from baseball cards, more or less, that I cut up and created this myself. So I love this piece, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. But guys, I gotta show you something I'm even more excited about. There's something that came up for sale on the 4th of July, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you because I can't tell you how excited I am about it. This is a 2003 Flair Greats Sweet Swatch Classic, and you see this patch? This is from the 1989 World Series. This was on Canseco's arm during the World Series. And right there, it's a nice jumbo patch. I mean, I'll show you kind of like the size of it in conjunction with the card. So it's a very nice size. I never thought I was going to see anything like this up for sale. So this is cool. It's really neat to think that this right here was something that was seen by me on television several times when I was a kid. Just with wide eyes, just watching in amazement and awe of the Oakland Athletics, and hoping that they would win it all, and just hanging on every pitch and being super excited when this guy here came up to bat each time. And man, I mean, I can't get over how cool this is. This is such a neat piece because this is an actual tangible relic from what I loved as a child. I think this piece here kind of encompasses the whole reason why I got back into the hobby to begin with. I think really why a lot of people do. And I never thought I would get into something like this or get something like this, but I'm super happy about it. And I just wanted to share it with you all because I think if you're watching this, you probably get it. You probably understand. You might not be a Canseco fan, you might not be an A's fan, but I think you will probably get this and understand where I'm coming from on this. So thank you guys so much for watching and sharing in my joy about getting this really, really stinking awesome piece for my collection. I hope y'all have a great day.